Good morning, y'all. It's Lippy with Gemini Homestead. It's a Sunday morning. Sun is out. Buddy's out there mowing. And I'm in the kitchen with y'all. Because guess what? I hit the mother load. Okay, now I can grow pineapples. But y'all, I got these for $1. $1 2-3 days ago. So I bought 7 of them. I cut one up so my mother-in-law could eat one fresh. And now we're about to put some pineapple up. Fresh pineapple. So I'm gonna get all of mine cut up and I'm gonna save the last one to show you guys. And then 15 minutes, guys, and this is done. Now, that's not prepping, okay? That's getting them in the jars and processing. So I gotta get a couple of more sips, get these pineapples done, and then I'll save the last one for y'all so you can see how Lippy does it. We're gonna put some pineapple up. Y'all, I forgot to turn the camera on. All I did was take the top off. I mean, y'all didn't miss much, okay? Now I'm gonna come around and we're gonna take the bottom. Oh, that looks good. Okay. Now what I do is I come around the sides. I have one here already. So I'm only gonna do a couple of them to show you how I do it. And let's come back around. Okay, now you're gonna go all the way around, guys. Okay, so here's our pineapple. Okay, this is what it's supposed to look like. And this is where you're gonna come in and you're gonna trim any bad that you have off. Just like that. Now, if you want it perfect, get after it. Now, the way I do the bottom, you see how there's still some blemishes and some from that skin. I just take it and I round it, and that's it. All right. Let's clean our board off again, because I don't want any of that in my pineapple. Okay. Now I'm gonna see the core here. I'm gonna come right up against that core and I'm gonna go straight down. That's one slice. I'm gonna turn it, I'm gonna follow that core again. Now if you was to get into the core, it's not a big deal. You would just trim like that. Now, I didn't get in the core, but I was just showing you. Then we're going to come back around. Now it can be messy. Boy, this is a juicy one. Okay. Here's the core. I'm going to save that because we're going to use that in a little bit. But you see that bad mark? I'm just going to come in. I'll cut it off. And I did get into the core on the last one. So I'm just going to come and trim it. There you go. Now I'm not going to bore you with all of this cutting, but I just want to show you. I just come in and dice it. Well, that one was juicy. Now you can go larger, you can go smaller. I tend to go about 1 inch long to about 1 inch wide. And the reason why I do that is so depending on the recipe I want to use this pineapple for, I can either mince it, cut it up in tidbits, or just cut it up in half. And there you go. All right, I'm going to get the rest of these, and then we'll go to the ingredients that you're going to need. We're going to get some pineapple put up. Here's our ingredients. Remember, we started with 6 pineapples. I cut them, diced them into 1-inch chunks. Now this is going to be your preference. You can go smaller to tidbits, but as I explained, I like the chunks. So that's 6 diced pineapples. 5 cups of sugar. This is pure cane. I did not measure it in here. I measured in a dry measurement and just poured it in here. So it's 5 cups of pure cane sugar, 10 cups of distilled water, and I did put 5 of the cores in here. This is optional. You do not have to have the cores. I just like the flavor. Now, as you can see, I have my clean jars. I did inspect them very well, and I've got them sitting in the water bath canner, staying hot. It's not boiling, but that's a good temperature. So we're sitting on a 7. And all I'm going to do is add my 5 cups of sugar to my 10 cups of water. We are making a simple syrup, basically. And we're just going to stir and dissolve. Okay, while our brine is coming up to temp, we're going to go ahead and get our jars filled. Now, we're not going to pack them tight. But let me show you about how many. Now, I'm going to take my hand, and I'm going to come in, and I'm going to lightly put a little pressure. I'm not going tight. Here, we can get one right in there. There we go. That's good. Oops. There we go. Let's do it one more so I can show you. And this is what I do while the simple syrup or brine is coming up to temp. I'm just going to come in, lightly give a press. There we go. Hope I can get one more in. Perfect. All right, guys. I got a bunch more to do. I'm sure you can hear it and see it because of the steam. Now, I don't want this to come up to a rolling boil. So I'm going to take it from a 7. I'm going to drop it down to about a 3. And I'm going to leave it there for about 10 minutes. Okay, for the sake of the video, I'm going to do one. Because I have 11 more after this one to do. So I will be processing in 2 batches. So I'm just going to do one. And I'm going to stop there because I want to show you guys something. Let me set this down. And I'll try to zoom in for the camera to see. I have got my liquid to this bottom ring. That gives me 1-inch headspace. But what this is a debubbler. This is nothing more than a ivory chopstick. But I use it as my debubbler. Now, you can buy a debubbler. There's so many instruments out there, but I've just found that this one works best. Now, see, I'm going to take this one out because it does not. See, it keeps wanting to jump up. I'm just going to set it over here out of the way. Perfect. Now, as you can see, I've come around the sides. I'm trying to go slow for you guys. Now, I see where I can add more simple syrup. By doing that, that's releasing that air. So you're getting syrup throughout this whole jar. And that's what you want. That is just perfect. Can you see that liquid? That liquid is sitting right here. And that's 1-inch headspace. All right, let me get the rest of them done. Okay, we've got all our jars filled. All I've got is a dry piece of paper towel. I'm going to fold it. I've got white distilled vinegar. And I'm going to dampen my paper towel. And I'm just going to come around and make sure that the top of this jar and right around the side is thoroughly clean And what I like to do is I take this paper towel, I fold it back over the opposite way. I know I have y'all on the wrong side of the kitchen, so it's a little backwards for me. And I'm going to come back around, okay? I'm going to get me a flat, set my flat on, get me a ring. We're going to go finger tight. This is so backwards with y'all on this side. And I'm going to go finger tight, okay? Now that's all I've done. I'm going to do 7 more because I'm going to put 8 in my canner. That leaves me 4 for the next round, okay? That one's done. Let's just do 1 more. Okay. You're going to come around. I'm going to fold this over. Go back around. And I am going slow, guys, because hopefully I will reach someone that's never done this before and would like to do it. Okay, finger tight. More to go. There sits the first batch. Okay, we've reached the stage of boiling that I was talking about. You see, it's not boiling out of the pot. You don't want a extremely rapid boil. You want a level, steady boil. And this is when we put the lid on. Time it for 15 minutes. Now we've reached our 15-minute mark. So we're going to take this batch out of the canner. Look at this. Isn't it gorgeous? Here we go. We got 8 pints. I've got the other 4 processing now. Now, many of you have seen me do this, but I'm still going to show it again. I take a cotton cloth and I cover these jars and I allow them to sit and rest for 24 hours before I ever take the rings off, clean the jars, and label them. But what this cloth does is if there is a failure, and it is very possible, this is glass, and one was to crack, this cotton cloth will help hold the glass in and it doesn't shatter everywhere. And then I also have it on a rubber bar mat. But I know many of you have seen me do this, but this is the purpose of why I do cover it for 24 hours. Wasn't that easy? So easy. And it's gonna be delicious, I promise. But you take my recipe and then you refer back to a ball book. There's a good Amish book out there, the USDA online. Educate yourself. Don't let processing food, whether that be pressure canning or water bathing, intimidate you. It's really just that easy. There's just a few steps. Don't do shortcuts. Just follow the guidelines and you're good. My second batch is going, as you can see, and we ended up with 12 pints. I'm going outside. I've got to work in the garden. But until next time, stay safe. And as always, God bless.